recording. I'm going to start recording now. Yeah, Bunny, we got to get that fixed because you need to be able to see me.
Okay.
Again, what I do, I'm going to actually mute everybody now. So just, you can chat your question. I'll try to like see it. It's hard for me sometimes when I'm looking at what I'm doing to see if anybody is typing a question in. So it's easier if you just unmute yourself and ask your question that way. Lynn, if you have to type your question because we need to get your microphone fixed, that's okay. I'll try to watch the screen. But everybody's muted right now. If you have a question, just chat it in the chat box or just unmute yourself. So what I normally do is, we're recording now. I'm going to bring my laptop over here. I don't know why my video keeps stopping. Hold on a second here. Why is it doing that? Every time I move my laptop, my video is stopping. Okay, so I'm going to put it over on my craft table here and plug in my other camera. And every time I move my laptop, my camera goes off. I don't know what the heck, why it's doing that. It never does that. Hold on, let me plug in my other one here. I do not know. Okay. All right, so now we have the view of my craft table. And I'm going to plug in my charger now before I forget, because I lost power one time during a class because I forgot to plug it in. Okay, there's quite a few steps with this flower. So if we don't get it finished within the 2-hour time frame, I'm really gonna try to get it finished. If we have to go over, we have to go over, but there's quite a few steps to putting this flower together. So I wanted to show you from start to finish so you don't miss anything. Excuse me. Deco Mesh Spring Flower is what I'm calling it. You can actually make this for any holiday, any season. It just depends on the colors of mesh that you pick out. I did have a class last year, I think maybe it was August or September, where I did the poinsettia. If any of you have seen the poinsettia, that method's a little bit different, and I only use 6-inch mesh from the Dollar Tree for my poinsettia, believe it or not. So, but it's the same premise. You have to have, this is a 12-inch wreath form. I think I got this from Dollar General. You can get them anywhere. The ones from Dollar Tree you can probably still use. They're a little bit bigger. I think they're 14.5 inches. That would be fine too. You might have to add a few more petals, but ideally you want to have a 12-inch wreath form. So, and you can see what I already started to do here. This is actually a piece of plastic canvas, and you can get these in the sewing department at any craft store. I got this at Hobby Lobby. This was the biggest size that they had, and it's actually used for needlepoint, I believe, or needlepoint or something. Cross stitch, maybe. I think it's cross stitch. And you can see that I already traced the inside, because that's really the first thing you want to do, is you want to just, and they make circles too. They actually make circles out of the plastic canvas, and you might even be able to find a circle that fits perfectly inside. But I already had this piece, so I just went ahead and I traced it. I traced the inside, and we're going to cut it out. And that's the first thing we're going to do, is we need to get this attached to the middle of our wreath form. Did somebody unmute themselves? Do you have a question? I think I thought I heard some background noise there. I think somebody's unmuted. So this stuff is pretty easy to cut through, and it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be covered. You just want it to be able to more or less fit in the middle of your wreath form. Hold on 1 second, let me just make sure everybody's muted so we don't have any background noise. Whoops. I burned myself pretty good with the wood burning tool. If you can see the Band-Aid on my finger, I was cutting the mesh for class yesterday, and I went to grab it, and you know, I grabbed the hot part. So you really got to be careful with those, because they're like little soldering irons. They get really hot. So you need to have some zip ties. I got these from Walmart, I believe. They're just 4-inch zip ties. You can get them from the Dollar Tree. The length doesn't really matter. So you're just going to take your little circle, and if this, it doesn't matter if this red is showing, but Oh, I may turn it around anyway. And I usually just go at each crossbar. You can see it's got the little holes in it. So you go with each crossbar and you're just going to zip tie it to the crossbar. Just go right through one of the holes. And I was going to do this ahead of time, but I thought, you know, if any of you are making your wreath with me tonight, you know, and I'm going the wrong way, you want to go, wait a second here. You want the zip tie to be underneath. So you can snip off the excess at the bottom. And if you're just watching tonight, that's totally fine. Don't feel like you have to keep up with me. If I happen to get ahead of you, you're all going to get a copy of the video. So if you kind of fall behind, because I try to keep my classes, you know, 2 hours because it gets pretty late and we all get kind of tired. But if you find that I'm going a little bit too fast for you, I do try to go slow. But if you find that I'm going a little bit too fast and you fall behind, don't worry, you're going to get the video and you can always finish your wreath at your own pace, at your own convenience with the video. So I'm just going to each crossbar and zip tying this on. I didn't finish my first wreath when I was watching a Zoom meeting. And you know, a lot of times, a lot of my members, you know, they may not have been able to get their supplies in time, or they're just more comfortable just watching and then making it, again, at their own convenience. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I'll get 2 more here. And I'm going to show you what I did with my center also. We're not going to put that on right away though. We're going to do our outside petals and leaves first, and then we will glue our center in and do the rest. So there's a couple of different options you could have done with the center. You needed a 6-inch styrofoam ball, which I got mine at Walmart. And you cut it in half. I don't think they make the half balls in the 6-inch. I think they make the smaller ones, because I know I bought one for the poinsettia. I bought a ball that was already cut in half, but the one I got at Walmart the other day was a 6-inch ball, and I just cut it in half. And I painted it with a really pretty dark blue. What is wrong with this zip tie? And I got some of the glass beads or gems from the Dollar Tree. I think Walmart has those too, but that's optional. You could just definitely, paint it and leave it at that. The one that's in the picture that is in the class listing is just painted. I'm just cutting these excess off here. So that looks fine too, but I'm going to show you what it looks like with the gems glued on. The glass gems or beads or whatever you want to call them. So this is my ball. Oh, did I get blurry? There we go. So where's my other half? I saved it. This is actually, it was a white one. The one that I got from Walmart was white. So this was the whole ball. This thing's kind of heavy too. This was the whole ball, and I just cut it in half, and I painted it. What color did I get? I got a really pretty dark blue. It's just called Real Blue. It's an acrylic craft paint. It was like $1 a bottle at Walmart. So I painted it first, and then I got the little glass beads. Whoops, these are from the Dollar Tree. That's all these are. And I just glued them. A word of advice though, I actually started gluing around the bottom, and then I went up to the top. There's a little bit of a gap here, so I think if you're going to go ahead and glue the beads, I would start at the top and go down, because if you have gaps down here, you're not going to see it as much. I mean, it doesn't look bad. There's just the one little gap there, but it's kind of heavy. So again, if you want to just paint it, it would look like the image in the picture. That would be fine. If you want to add your glass beads, you can do that too. It's whatever you want to do. Okay, now we have our center on. So I know I put in the supply list to try to get color coordinated pipe cleaners, but you don't really have to, because they're not really going to be seen. But I actually found a package of multicolored pipe cleaners at Walmart, so I grabbed them. There was green, there was blue, there was white. So we're going to cut them in half though, because we don't need to use a full one. So we're going to have a total of 12 pieces of the green, of the moss green. And this was a 21-inch roll that I cut it at 10.5 by 10.5. If you have a 10-inch roll of the moss green, which is what I was going to use, but whoever I ordered this from didn't have enough. So they only had one roll. And now that I think about it, one roll probably would have been enough. So you can definitely use the 10-inch. You don't have to use 21-inch. And you just cut your pieces 10 by 10 inches. And the same for the petals too. I have an ombre, a blue ombre. Now I know this blue wasn't in the picture that I had listed, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to be using the blue ombre, and I'm also going to be using the orange ombre because I already had it. And here is the orange. And as far as I know, the only place you can find these ombre in these colors is at Walmart. And if you can't find it in your store, you can get it online and have it delivered to the store. And I did post the links. So you're going to have a total of 12 pieces of the green, a total of 24 pieces of the blue ombre, if this is what you're using. 10.5 by 10.5 pieces, because this was a 21-inch roll that I cut in half. I cut in at 21 by 10.5, and then I cut it in half again. So, and the same with the orange. The orange you're going to have 54 pieces. So if you got 10-inch mesh that you wanted to use because you couldn't find the ombre, that's totally fine. Again, just cut those in 10 by 10-inch pieces, because you're not going to be cutting that in half. It's not 21-inch. I'm not a real big fan of cutting 21-inch mesh in half because of the fraying. I did use the wood burning tool. There's a video in the group on how to use the wood burning tool, but still, there could be some fraying with cutting your 21-inch mesh in half. But what we're going to do, and I think I put in the supply list too, is you can get E6000 spray, which is a spray adhesive, and you can spray your wreath afterwards with that, so it won't fray on you. But I couldn't find the E6000. I didn't go to the craft store today, but I did already have this Elmer's Craft Bond spray adhesive, which works just the same. It just has kind of a smell to it. You don't really want to spray it too liberally because it's kind of smelly. The E6000 doesn't smell as bad. So, okay. So let's just take our pipe cleaners and cut them in half. I don't really need to use a full one. We're going to start out with the leaves. Okay, now what we're going to do is the leaves are going to just go on each of these crossbars on the outside. So on the last bar at the crossbar. So we're gonna, there's a total of 6 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're gonna put 2 leaves or 2 pieces of mesh per crossbar. So what we're gonna do, take your piece. This is actually a metallic. I tried to find it in the standard non-metallic in the 21-inch, but I couldn't find it. So metallic is fine, it doesn't really matter. You're just gonna get your piece and you're gonna fold the corners together like that, okay? And you're just gonna pinch it together, just like that, okay? You're not gonna twist it, you're not gonna do anything, but what's important is you wanna make sure that this is the side that's showing on your wreath. You want the cut side to be down, and I'm going to show you. So if you have problems with your hands, you know, you might want to have something to just to temporarily weigh this down. I'm just going to kind of stick it in between my fingers while I do my other piece. And the way the second piece is going to be folded is, it starts out the same. So you're going to take the corners and bring them in, okay? And you're going to pinch it in the middle again. But this piece, you're going to twist. Actually, let me just put this down for a second so I can show you. Let me weigh it down with something. What can I weigh it down with here? Where's my tape measure? That's usually good for weighing things down. People use their Bodabra sometimes to hold on to their mesh. I'm just going to hold that there for a second while I show you. So we folded and we pinched it the same way. But we're going to twist this one, okay? We're going to twist it, and the reason why we're twisting it is because we want it to look like that, if you can see that. You see how the cut side is there, okay? So you want them both facing the same way, both your petals to be facing the same way. So again, you pinched it together. I'm going to show you again. You pinched it together, and I gave it a twist, and we're going to go like that. So it looks like that. And then we're going to take our first piece that we folded, or that we pinched, okay, with our pieces going like that. We're going to take this piece and put it around it. Okay. So we have, there's our cut side. Our cut side is down, okay? So you have the front of your petal. Front of your petals are all facing the same way, okay? And you take your pipe cleaner and you go through the middle, and that's another reason why you put this one around it, and you put your pipe cleaner in the middle, and it kind of hides your pipe cleaner, okay? And you put them around, and then you're going to lift up like that. And you're going to give it a couple of twists. Not too many, because you want it to be able to lay flat. You don't want it to lift off too far away from your wreath form. So that's how it's going to look, okay? This is the first piece that we did. We didn't twist that at all. We just pinched it, but make sure that these cut ends are down. And the other piece, we twisted it and put it around it. So again, these are the fronts of our petals, and the cut side, this one's twisted a little bit, but you know, not going to make that big of a deal. But that's how you're going to want it to look when you attach it to your wreath form. Okay, and we're just going to go to the crossbar. Okay, this is the crossbar, the outer ring, and attach our first set of leaves. Just give it a couple of twists. Now it's kind of sticking up funny now, but once we get them all on, they'll lay flat, so you don't have to worry about that. That's the first one. So let's do it again. Take your piece, fold the corners together, pinch. This one you're going to leave just like that. So you see how the cut sides are down? That's my cut side, or my open side. Now I'm going to put it down for a minute just so you can see how I do the other one. Just weigh it down with something. Fold the corners in. I'm going to pinch it again in the middle. Okay, but this one we're going to twist, all right? Just give it a twist so that your leaves or your petals are both facing the same way. You've got your cut side down there, see that? But they're kind of laying on top of each other. They're like laying on top of each other like that. And that's when you take your first piece. Okay, and again, make sure that this is your top. Okay, go around it. So it looks like that. Okay, take your pipe cleaner, go inside. Pull up like that. Just give it a couple of twists. As you start doing this, and that's why you kind of want to pull up. You see how this one's like laying a little bit flatter. There's your little leaf. That's why you kind of want to pull up on it. So let's go to the next crossbar. Right on the outside. And give it a couple of twists. And again, if they're sticking up a little bit right now, don't worry about it once we get all of our mesh on. And I like to cut my few frays as I go. Try to cut them versus pulling them, because as you know as well as I do, if you have a loose fray or strand of thread in a sweater and you pull it, that's the worst thing in the world. Same thing with mesh. This is kind of sticking up a little bit, but that's okay. So let's just keep going here. Again, your corners together, pinch. I'm not going to do any twisting with that. I'm just going to lay it down and weigh it down. You're just going to twist it, just so your petals are both going the same way. Go around. So it looks like that. Your pipe cleaner, put it on the inside. Pull up, tight. Go to our next one. And the nice thing, like I said, if you're new and you're lost, you're feeling worried, don't feel worried. You're going to get a copy of the video. I think I'm actually even more comfortable with weighing it down. Whenever I try to hold mesh in between my fingers, I just feel like it's awkward for me. Maybe some people just have bigger hands, I don't know. This is the one we're just going to twist. And again, you know, when I say twist it, all you're really looking to do is just to get your petals going in the same direction. Just so they're both, that's the top part. You want it to be like that. And again, it helps to hide your pipe cleaner too. And like I said, don't worry too much about them laying flat now, because as you keep adding your mesh, they'll lay flatter. This doesn't even really want to hold it down, but it's holding it good enough. As you start to do it, it'll get a little easier. Hold on a second here. Just want to make sure that I'm laying it down the right way. The key is not to mess with it too much. I think I actually cut a couple extra pieces of the green in case I had a fraying disaster. I always try to cut a little bit extra, so I'm going to have some that I'm going to try to hold it in between my fingers this time. See if I can do that. So that's going to be extra. I don't need that. But I cut it just in case. Twist. Go around like that. I have quite a bit extra. And there's our leaves. If you want to add more leaves, you can. If you feel like you want to have a little bit more green around the outside, go for it. So, these are all of our leaves. Don't worry about them, like I said, not laying totally flat right now. Now, we need to move on to the petals. So, let's get our other mesh here. Now, if you don't have these ombre meshes like I do, and I think Joyce or somebody, Lynn, picked out some different ombre mesh, What I like to do is, we're going to do, let me think for a second here. We're still going to do 2. I'm trying to be very careful taking these apart so I don't pull any frays. What I'm going to do with the petals is I'm going to do the same thing I did with the leaves, but I'm going to take a piece of my orange ombre and start with that. Okay. And pinch it just like the leaves. Let me hold this down for a second because I need to get my pipe cleaners. I'm not ready with my pipe cleaners. I actually have some pink here because pink is pretty close to that, so I think that's going to work. Where'd my scissors go? Let's cut these in half. So we're going to start with the orange ombre, and then I'm going to take a piece of the blue. And I'm going to do what I did with the leaves with this piece. Pinch it in the middle, and then I'm going to twist it. So they're going the same way like that. And put this around the orange. And that's what my petals are going to look like. Until we get to the middle, I'm just going to use all orange in the middle, or around my center, rather. But for the outside, we're going to do blue and orange. Now, the way I'm going to put these on is I'm going to go to, all right, let me see if I can show you here. The leaves went on the crossbar, okay? All right, in this first section here, okay? Or on like as close to the outer bar as I could get it. It's technically in this middle piece here, okay? In the cross section. We're gonna put this petal, these flower petals here, okay? So in this second section here, if you can see that, that's where this first set of flower petals is going to go. So right below your leaf on the crossbar. And then you're going to do the same thing with another set of petals, but it's going to go on the next crossbar. So you actually have 3. It's going to go right here. Okay, you're going to do the same thing with another set of petals right there. So you're going to have 3, the leaf and then the petal and then another set of your petals. If you see any frays, that one I pulled off, but I'm just going to hold that with my finger, get my blue. Pinch, twist, so they're going the same way. Go around it.
Christine, did you cut all of your ombre mesh, or did you just cut half
No,
of
I
it?
didn't cut it. I actually, the only roll that I did cut all of was the orange.
Okay.
Because I needed, you know, and I think I still have, you know, too much.
Okay.
But I knew I was only going to need 24 pieces of the blue, so I have some of the blue left over.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Now, what I want to show you, the reason why I'm showing you the back, okay, is because you see how we have the leaf and then we have the one petal and then the second petal. We have 3 on each cross section. I'm going to actually take these ties, all these ties, and I'm going to twist them together. So it just looks a little neater in the back. So I'm going to take all those ties that I just put on, and I'm just going to twist them together like that, just so it looks a little bit neater. See how I just kind of twisted them all together like that? Just so it looks a little bit neater in the back. Now once, like I said, these are kind of sitting funny right now, but once we get all the petals on, they'll look better. They'll start pushing each other up, so. You just kind of want to make sure they're all going down the same way. Okay. We're just going to do the same thing on all the crossbars. Start with my orange, or if you have 2 different colors of mesh, you can do that. And my blue, this is the one that we're going to twist. I forgot to turn my Facebook off. I'm getting notifications. It's going to bother me. I need to shut that off. I only get about 500,000 notifications a day. We're going to go to the next crossbar. We'll go to the next section. Oops, this is what I was afraid was going to happen. They get stuck to each other. Underneath the leaves, you put your next petal on. Lynn, you raised your hand. Can you chat your question? Can you type your question in? I know we have to get your microphone fixed.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Fixed it.
Yeah.
I can.
Are you putting on the after the leaf? Are you putting the orange first? I mean up, and the blue down, and then the second time you're putting the opposite, or how are you layering? How are you
No,
making?
I'm actually, if you can see how I'm attaching it, I'm actually, it's not really laying the way I want it to on the wreath form. But what I'm doing is I'm doing it the same way for each one. You mean how I'm tying them together? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Are you? Yeah. How are you? Like the leaves, you put one up and one cross. Are you putting different colors?
I'm doing the same thing with I'm doing the same thing with the petals.
Okay. Are you
So
doing?
I've got my orange here.
So you
What's
got your
that?
Okay. Go ahead.
I've got my orange like that, and I'm pinching it in the middle.
Right.
Okay, I'm not twisting it. So there
Right.
you have that piece. And then
That's
I take
laying
my
flat.
blue, or in your case, I think you had sort of like a blue ombre too, didn't you?
Yes.
So then I take my blue piece and I fold it the same way, but this is the one that I'm gonna twist.
Okay. And you do that on both of
Okay.
them.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I just put it around, I put the blue around. It's actually supposed to end up looking like that.
Right. Okay. So you do that on both of them.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're gonna get the video, Lynn, so you can watch it over and over again and pause it and fast forward it and rewind it and okay. Go back underneath and do one more over here. So again, we're going to have 3. See, for some reason there we go. This is how I want it to be, like that. Okay. So you're going to have 3 on each crossbar. You're going to have leaves and you're going to have 2 sets of petals. And again, once I have all 3 attached, I'm just going to take all those pipe cleaners and just twist them all together just so it looks a little bit neater in the back. You see that? You see how they're all just like twisted together. Yeah, I don't know why these are like laying kind of funny for me. I don't know why they're laying so funny like that. I might even end up adding more petals. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see how, when we're done, how that looks. And sticking together. The only thing about this ombre mesh is it can be a little bit stiff. I need to get this out of the way. They're all sticking together here. You sit over there for a minute. As you go along and you keep adding, you're going to see it come together. I assure you. And Walmart does have this ombre. I've never seen it anyplace else. And you can order it online. And they'll deliver it to the store. They have a really neat process now. At least my Walmart has this really cool thing right by the front door. It's like this big tower. And whoops. And you go in, get my pipe cleaner in here. And you go in and you punch your number in or something. And I've never done it. I've seen people do it. And they have your order like stored in this big tower, and it comes down this like conveyor belt. It's all like this crazy technology. And they're pretty quick too. Their shipping is pretty quick. So here's my third. Oh, I'm getting blurry here. Nope. Hold on, I'll fix that in 1 second. Let me just tie this on. Again, take all 3 and twist them together, just so it looks a little bit neater. Try not to fuss with it too much once you have your petals on. Like I see a couple of frays coming out here. I don't really want to keep touching it, because we're going to spray that all down after. That's just the thing with cutting 21-inch mesh in half. It's just, cut these couple pieces off before they get any worse. I think if I was going to make this flower the next time, I would just use 10-inch. I mean, this seems to be okay. I don't have that many frays, but like I said, I'm not really a big fan of cutting 21-inch mesh in half. Okay. This is the piece you're going to twist. So it looks like that. There's my doggy howling. My daughter just got home. You guys can hear that. My doggy's made several appearances in my videos with her little howling. That's what she likes to do. She doesn't bark, she howls like a little wolf. So again, if I'm going a little bit fast for you guys, you're gonna get the video. Don't worry. Don't worry about falling behind. Oops, I have 2 pipe cleaners there. Again, once you have all your 3, just take all 3 of those in the back and twist them together. Just like that. No, don't stick. For some reason, I don't like the way these are laying over here. They're not laying. That's how I want them to lay. Hold on a second here. I want my blue to be in the middle. Like that. For some reason, I can see my pipe cleaners. You know what? I'm taking this one off for just a second here because I'm not quite happy with the way they're laying. And you can do that. All is fair in love and wreath making. you're not happy with the way something looks, then you can fix it. I just don't like the way these petals are laying on here. So I'm going to fix it. I'll figure out what happened here. There's my first piece. There's my orange. This I need to twist. Put it around it like that. I don't want to see my pipe cleaner, so I think I may have just... I need to make sure that I attach it correctly so I don't see my pipe cleaner. Let's try that again. And that looks better. That's kind of how you want it to be laying. You can see that. Hold on a minute here. You want it to try to get it to maintain that shape there as you're attaching it. So there's your orange piece there. And you want your blue to be kind of up like that in the middle. And if you find any pieces that aren't doing that, just fix them, just like I did. I think it's just the way that I twisted it originally when I put it on, and it just sort of like my pipe cleaner was showing. And I didn't want that. I don't want my pipe cleaner to show. So everything's like sticking to each other here. Let me fix this one now. It's going to make a difference in how it looks when you're done. And if you have to take a piece out and redo it, then take the time to do that, because it's just going to drive you crazy when you're sitting back there looking at it and you're like, why does it look like that? That's not how I want it to look. No. That's how I want it to look, like that. And you know, it can be challenging sometimes, especially when you're doing something for the first time and it's not looking the way you want it to. There's nothing wrong with walking away. So this is how you want your section to look. I fixed it, okay? We're going to be adding more in the middle here, so don't worry. But for the crossbar, that's how you want your section to look. You want the orange to go off to the side and the blue to be in the middle. And you're not, you want to try to keep that pipe cleaner covered. Now, these are going to be pushed down more once we get our center in, so, but that's how you want that to look. That's popping up, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So if you have to walk away from it for a minute, there's no shame in that. I've done that many times. Okay. Just take your time. There's no rush. I think when I made my poinsettia in class, I didn't even finish it because these can be time consuming. There's a lot of folding, there's a lot of twisting, but you're going to have a really beautiful finished product. And anybody can do this. It's not difficult. I was actually watching Julie Oxendine, if you know who she is, Julie's Wreath Boutique. She does the fabric flowers, which I really, really want to try. I know we have a burlap flower coming up, but she does the fabric flowers where she just buys regular fabric from wherever, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, and she attaches it, you know, she makes petals and she makes the most gorgeous flower wreaths you've ever seen. And she sprays them when she's done to sort of stiffen the fabric a little bit so it holds its shape. So again, be cognizant of how you're attaching it to your wreath form to make sure that your blue stays in the middle. Lynn raised your hand. Did you have a question, Lynn? So your blue stays in the middle. Twist all of it together in the back. I don't know if your microphone's not working again. Do you know how to unmute yourself?
You got me? You hear me?
I can.
Okay. Tell that lady that she was only getting a third screen. If she tilts her phone sideways, it goes to full screen.
Oh, did you hear that, Bunny? Tilt your phone sideways. I'll talk to her after. Bunny's been with me for a long time. Bunny's been in a lot of my classes, so I didn't even know that she ever had that issue. She never told me. So thanks, Lynn. I don't use my phone. I use my laptop. So now these petals are looking exactly the way that I want them to look over here. I got my blue in the middle. Let me close this real quick here. I got my blue in the middle, my orange on the sides, but it's filling in nice. How many do we have left here? I have one more section here that I have to add my petals to. Don't let it make you crazy that it's popping up once you have it all added. And it actually looks nice when it's kind of popping up a little bit. Anyway. I got mesh all over the floor here. Yeah, but the poinsettia that I made, if you guys are new, I made a poinsettia last year in class. And it was made entirely out of 6-inch mesh. I actually had a lot of red left over from the 4th of July from the Dollar Tree. And I cut it with the wood burning tool. And I have no fraying. I have had no fraying with that wreath. And the petals are made similar but different. So I may do another class. Maybe we'll do like a different color for the summer, using the 6-inch mesh, because it does really make a really full and pretty flower. I don't know if you guys have seen the picture of my poinsettia. My blurry here, hold on a second. Sorry, let me just fix that. Whoops, I actually still have it on my wall over here. I can get my camera to pan up. Can you see it on my wall over there? I still have my poinsettia. My little snowman is still there too, but it's really a full wreath. That's all Dollar Tree mesh. I took a zillion rolls. I used a lot of mesh on that wreath. I had a lot of people that wanted to buy it, but I just can't part with it. I like it too much. That's probably why I should make another one. All right, let's see. Where am I now? I'm chatting away, and I lost my section that I was working on here. Oh, I gotta have one more right over there. I think this is it. Yep, right over here. I need one more. So we're just trying to make it look neat in the back here. So we're just twisting all these together. So you see how I have all my 6 sections done now. I have a set of leaves, and I have 2 sets of petals, and they're all at the crossbar. So that's what we have so far in the back. So all 3 are all tied together. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to see because there's quite a few petals and leaves and things going on here. But what we're going to do now, we're not going to add our center just yet. We need to add petals to the middle sections here, okay? So this is why I'm saying, you know, we're going to be getting a lot more fullness in our wreath here. So it's going to be coming together. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the same thing with the petals that we just made with the orange and then the blue in the middle, okay? We're going to put one on this bar here, okay, in the middle. You can see that. So in between each crossbar, okay, these are all in the crossbar, so this is the middle. We're going to put one on this second bar from the outside in the middle, okay? And then we're going to put one right here where the grid, the plastic canvas meets the bar, okay? So again, one in the middle right here and the second bar from the outside, and then one, we're going to go right through the the plastic canvas, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. That's when we're going to start going into the plastic canvas. So we're going to make them the same way that we've been making them. Good Lord, frame. That's why you don't really want to try to play with it too much once you get it attached, because this is when you're going to start having your frame. Here I am telling you not to play with it, and I'm playing with it. So continue making your flower bundles the way we have been, with the orange and then the blue. I need more pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners, where are they? Let's see. Do the one-handed cutting. Stop sticking. Okay, so go into the middle. Second bar from the outside. And what's going to keep this from sliding, because it's in the middle, we had our crossbar to keep the other pieces from sliding, but what's going to keep that from sliding is because we're going to put our second bundle right through the cross grid here, okay? We're going to go right through those holes, and we're going to twist those together, just like we did the ones in the middle, and I'll show you. Just like we did the ones with the crossbars, how we tied them all together, that kind of like anchors it. Okay. So go right down. I'm dropping my piece here. I want to show you. I'm going to go right through the holes here, okay, and kind of wrap it around that bar. You can't really see the bar because it's covered, but it's there. So I'm actually putting one through the hole and one around the bar. So I have one coming up through the plastic canvas and I have one going around the bar, and I'm going to twist them together. And then I'm going to grab the one I put up here and twist that with that one. So that's going to kind of anchor that one. So it's not going to slide around. So I just kind of twisted them both together. So this is sort of being anchored to the one that I put through the canvas to hold it in place. There. Once we get the piece in the middle, these are going to not pop up like that anymore, don't worry. We got to do that all the way around now. I keep reaching down here because I have my blue mesh fell on the floor, so that's why I keep disappearing. If any of you guys get tired and you want to take a break, you're not going to miss anything because you're going to get the video. I know I've said that before. Go to the next center section. Second bar from the outside. And do the same thing. think I'm going to be more happy with this piece over here once I start adding the middle sections here. I'm not happy with this section is laying here. I'm not going to worry about it now. I get a little OCD myself. Do the same thing, twist these two pieces together because it makes it look neater in the back, and again, it anchors that top piece with the bottom piece. You can see as you go along, it gets a little bit easier when you get the hang of making your petals. You'll find yourself going a little bit faster. Plus you get to the point where you just want to kind of get it done, and you want to look at it and see how pretty it looks when it's done. But again, don't rush it. You know, if you're not caught up with me right now, don't panic. I know I've had a lot of people in my classes that have actually gone faster than me, and I'm like, how the heck could you do that? Oops. You can see how it's already starting to get really full. Got a couple pieces here. The key to really folding your pieces this way too is you're kind of hiding your cut ends too. Your cut ends are sort of like tucked underneath. So that's another reason why it's, you know, the goal to fold your petals that way. Because you have the nice front side facing out like that. And your cut pieces are underneath, so hopefully that'll take care of the fraying too. But again, we're going to go through and we're going to spray all this when we're done too. So let's see, what section do I need to do now? This one here. Sometimes I'm talking, I'm not really paying attention to where I am, and I lose my spot. I'm going to take this Band-Aid off in a minute here. It's getting stuck to my mesh. because now that we're adding all these pieces to the middle, you can see how much fuller it's getting already. It's starting to really look like a flower. And that's what we want. I need more orange. What's up, Lynn? I see you raising your hand. You don't have to raise your hand, honey, every time you have a question. You can just unmute yourself. That's fine. What's up? Hello? Oh, she's chatting instead.
You hear me?
What's up, honey?
Where did you put those last ones? Around on it? Where did you put those last ones?
Hold on a second. In the middle section, you mean?
Yeah, where did you put those?
Hold on a minute. Let me find another middle section so I can show you. It's getting so full here. Okay. There's our middle, all right?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't put anything. We started up by putting it on the crossbars, right?
Right,
Okay?
right.
We're going to go in the second bar
Uh-huh.
from the outside, right there in the middle, okay, with one set. And then we're going to go down to where the plastic grid is. And we're going to put one piece of the pipe cleaner through the plastic grid and one around this wire here.
In between each bar.
Yes. And then we're going to
Okay.
twist them together in the back. So let's do it again. So second bar from the outside, I'm going to put this one that I just made. Right in the middle. Then, this one's got some phrase. I'm going to fold that in. That one had some nasty phrase inside, but I folded it in and they're gone now. Let's see, where'd my blue go? There it is. Twist. Put it around. Now this one, you can see, you're going to put one piece of your pipe cleaner through this plastic grid here, through the hole, and the other one's going to go around the wire that's right next to it.
Okay.
Let me flip it around. So one of them is through the grid here. You see that? It's through the grid, and the other one's around the bar. Can you see that?
Yeah, would that be 6 of those?
6 of what?
Of those.
Yeah, you're gonna, right, because you have, we started with doing the 6 on each of the crossbars, okay, but we had 3. We had the leaves and we had 2 of the flower petal bundles.
Right.
In the middle, you're just gonna have 2 of the flower petal bundles, okay?
Yep.
So then after I get them both attached, I'm gonna twist these together in the back.
Okay.
So it sort of anchors the top one because you have this bottom one that's through the grid. So it sort of anchors the top one too, so it doesn't slide. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Tie them all together in the back, and then it looks neater in the back. And if you're going to be giving this to a gift, or you're going to be hanging it on a door that you don't want to get damaged, you can always get a piece of felt and glue that over all of this, because these can be kind of scratchy. You know what I mean? So that's always really easy to do. But you can see how nice now and full this is getting because I'm filling in the center now. I'm filling in each center section. You know, you may be looking at it and thinking this, you know, doesn't really look like a flower. But once you keep adding and filling in and flattening it down, you can see how it's really, look at those pretty colors. I just love those colors. Your colors are going to be nice too, Lynn. I like the colors that you picked out. I didn't really get a chance to tell you. So here I am pulling fraise again, which is I shouldn't be. We're going to spray it all after, so.
I think that
All right, so.
ombre you
What's
have is
that?
gorgeous. That ombre you have, the peach, is gorgeous.
I know, I love that. I had this too. I bought it last summer. I forgot I had it. I was going to use it for another project, and then I found it in my bag of summer mesh. I think you can only find this at Walmart. I've never seen it anyplace else.
No, we don't have that at our Walmart.
It does like to fray though. But I'm not gonna worry about that right now because it makes me crazy when stuff frays. All right, here's my blue. We're not going to use any of the blue in the center. We're going to put our piece, our styrofoam ball in the center, and then we're just going to fill in with the orange. So after we get done doing these outside sections, we're not going to be using the blue anymore. Okay, let's see where I'm at here. That one's already got one in the center. It's getting so full, it's hard to see. There we go. Look how nice and neat it looks in the back because all your pipe cleaners are tied together. I actually had to have my son run out and get me another bag of glass beads because I ran out. So very important. I probably should adjust the supply list. If you're going to buy the glass beads from the dollar store, make sure you get 2 bags because 1 bag is not going to be enough because I ran out. So get 2 glass bags of beads and start adding your beads in the middle at the top first. That way, if you have a space, it's going to be at the bottom and you're not going to be able to see it. I think I only have 1 middle section left to do over here. And then we can attach our center. And finish up the wreath. Have another pipe cleaners already? How's that possible? Oh, there was a whole bunch behind me here. I didn't see those. This is going to be the last one. This color I'm going to use anyway. I have some pretty blue that I'm going to use for my center pieces. We have 1 more middle section to do here. I can find it. there. Buddy, we're missing Susan tonight. I don't know where Susan is. Susan, are you here and you're just not talking? Honey, I didn't even look up to see who else we have here. Is my Susan here? I don't think Susan's here. Susan's another one of my members that's been with me since the beginning. She usually doesn't miss a class. You know, I don't know if any of you saw the post I put, I don't know, a few hours ago. I took it down because I felt bad immediately after posting it about if you're a brand new member and you have never joined a class, you know, give me 24 hours notice, because you know what happens to me a lot of the time, and I'll get a new member that jumps on like maybe an hour before class time and they want to join class, and honestly, an hour is just not enough time to help you do whatever it is that you need to do to be able to join class. You have to get Zoom downloaded, and you know, there's questions that have to be answered, but then I immediately felt bad when I did that, because usually the day of class I'm super busy. Like today I was cutting my mesh and I had Saturday errands I had to run, but once you get the hang of Zoom and you've used it a couple of times, it's really easy to use. All right, here's our last center section here. So that's that. Now we can put our centerpiece in. Look how full that is. Now I'm blurry. Let me fix. Oh, where's my arrow? There we go. Okay. I have to plug my glue gun in. I probably should have done that before, because if you did not attach any beads to your centerpiece, you're just going to need glue to attach it to the middle. If you have beads, you're going to need some florist wire too, because adding the glass beads makes it very heavy. Let me just plug in my glue gun here, and I'll tell you what I mean by that in a second. Adding these beads makes this pretty heavy. Now, obviously, if the beads were not on here, or the gems, whatever you want to call them, it's styrofoam, it's light. So since I did add the glass beads, what you're going to want to do, if you decide to do that, is take some florist wire, and you want to cut about 7 or 8 pieces into 2-inch, you can see that, if you can really see that, 2-inch pieces of florist wire. Maybe I'll just lay it down there and you can see it. I'm not really sure, put it in my hand. Because what we're going to do is after we glue it to our center, we're going to sort of make like a little bobby pin shape out of it. You can see that, like that. Put it in my hand so you can see it. We're going to make a little bobby pin shape out of our wire, and we're going to poke that through the back of the plastic canvas into the styrofoam ball. And that's just going to help hold it. So we're not just having the glue, just the glue itself holding it. That'll just give it a little extra. Because like I said, it's heavy. It's heavy now with the addition of these glass beads. So let me see if my glue gun is hot. It's getting there. You're just going to want to put a good amount of glue. think it's time for me to invest in a new glue gun. I need another glue stick here. Don't be afraid of it. Put a bunch on. Okay. What you're probably going to do, or what you're probably going to want to do, is just lay a piece of paper under there first, so it doesn't stick to your table. And just try to get it centered. If you want to maybe draw an outline in the middle to make sure that it's centered, and just press it down. Oh, one of my beads came off. I gotta put my bead back on. My bead came off. These beads stick pretty good though to the styrofoam, I'll tell you right now. I don't know if I have enough glue on there. Am I blurry again? Apologies. I don't know why my camera does that. I don't know if my glue gun was hot enough. Yeah, I need a little bit more glue on there. My glue gun was not hot enough. Really press down on that. Again, if you just painted yours and you don't have beads, it'll look just as nice too. All right.
How many bags of beads
Yes,
did you
ma'am.
use? How many bags of beads
Well,
did you
I used
use?
one full bag. I'm not even sure how many are in here. It doesn't even say. It's just a little bag of beads I got from the Dollar Tree. I used one full bag and then maybe 7 or 8 of the second bag. All right, I think it's stuck now there. I think we finally got it. This one bead came off. You know, I don't know why they're coming off now off the bottom. Maybe because I'm just pressing on it so hard. Because these were on really tight before. They were really, really tight. I know because I ripped one off to fix it. And it pulled part of the styrofoam ball off with it. Okay. I think that's on there good now. But I'm still going to go ahead and do like I said. I lost one of my beads. I'm just going to go ahead and get my floral wire. And I made into my little U shape here. I'm just going to poke it right through the grid into the ball. And that's going to help hold it too. Just make your little U shape, like a little bobby pin.
Christina,
Yes, ma'am.
I bought the ball that was hollow and cut in half. I mean, it was already half. Do you know what I'm talking about?
They have them hollow?
Yeah, they've got hollow ones, and
I didn't know that.
they're half ones, but they're bigger, I think. And I don't think it's going to work on this grid.
Yeah, you needed a 6-inch one. The one
Yeah.
you got is bigger.
It fits the hollow one. It goes right into it, and it'll it'll fit in the ring, and it'll stay there. It'll stay there without this. But I didn't realize, the grid was to hold, to we would actually put the pedals in the grid. So I don't know how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
So-
return it or?
Well, I've already got the things on it, but I probably could use it for something else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I put 6
I don't
inch.
think I guess I could see if but it fits better. It's bigger, I think, sticks out a bit more. So I could hot glue gun it to the grid, but I don't know.
I'm getting blurry again here. Hold on a second. Why the heck do I get blurry? Just finish putting these in here. So again, if you just painted it and you didn't add the beads, you won't need to do this because you're not going to have all that extra weight. This is just like a little extra insurance to make sure that your center does not come off. You don't want that to happen after you spent all this time on it to have you hang it up on the wall and have your center fall out. Okay. Now, for the finish, we just need to put a bunch of orange petals all around next to our center. And I'm going to use my blue pipe cleaners. Again, I don't think it really matters that much because they're not really going to be seen. And we're just going to be using the orange for the rest. And we're getting pretty close to the wire here. It's 10 of 10. We're doing pretty good here. And what we're going to do with this one, we're going to fold it the same way, like that, but we're just going to do the fold, okay? Because we want our petals to be like that, going around the center. We're not going to do the kind that, that this piece and then wrap the other one around. We're just going to do a bunch of these That's all we're going to do. And it's going to go right through the grid, and you want to try to get it as close to your ball as possible. Just put it through a couple of the holes right near your center. I'm sorry if you can't really see what I'm doing, but I think you get the idea. And then just go underneath and twist it. I might need to add some more floral wire to my center because I feel like I really want it to be stuck there. And that's it. I'm just going to make a bunch of these single petals. So that's going to go pretty quickly, hopefully. Just give it a twist so you have both your petals going the same way. Just go as close to your ball as you can. And twist underneath. That's going to fill in your whole center. And you can flatten out your pieces and you can move them around and fluff them and just try not to play with them too much because then you're going to have extra fraying. So you have your little petal piece just like that. It's probably not a wise idea to flip it around to twist it. Just try to get your hands under there and twist. I'm going to say this is going to be the most time-consuming part, but that's probably just because you're going to be anxious to get it finished. But this is what's really going to bring your wreath together, is finishing up your center. And then you kind of flatten everything down and you can spray it. I've even seen people make wreaths this is called the single petal method. You can actually make your entire wreath just using single petals like that. It'll take you a little bit longer, but that's what's called the single petal method. If you've ever heard anybody talk about a flower wreath with the single petal, that's what they're talking about, is they're just doing one petal per pipe cleaner or one piece of mesh made into a petal. That's what that's referring to. Sometimes I forget as I'm folding that you can't see what I'm doing on my camera. I'm looking up at my laptop. I apologize for that. Just tell me, Christina, I can't see what you're doing. I get kind of focused on what I'm doing here, and I need to make sure that you guys can see me too. Pull it down as tight as you can. God, that's so pretty. I love those colors. Whoops, I'm forgetting to make my twist. I gotta do my twist. It's kind of hard to find the hole, so it's so full. There we go. We're getting there. And it's 9:57. I knew it was going to be close. Like I said, this is going to be probably the most time-consuming part because it's the finishing. You're at the finish line here. You see a lot of the tutorials on YouTube, and they stop the video and they come back after they've completed a certain portion of it. And that's kind of nice, you know, because I think that's why sometimes I like to do the pre-recorded tutorials, because I can do that, because it can be a little bit monotonous to see me here doing the same thing over and over again, but I gotta get my other piece in there. It's so full, it's kind of hard to see what you're doing. You just kind of hope you can find the little holes in there. There we go. See, I'm really only about a quarter of the way around here. If any of you folks want to drop off, you don't have to stay and watch me finish the whole thing, as I'm basically just going to be going around and just filling in that grid around the ball. That's the last step. And then I'm going to spray it with my spray adhesive just to keep it from fraying anymore. Because, you know, the thing of it is, like I said, I use the wood burning tool, but you know, all mesh is going to fray to a certain extent. It's just, you just can't, you know, there's nothing you can do. The wood burning tool does definitely help. Does it eliminate it? No, but it does definitely help.
Where do you get your mesh at?
What's that?
Where do you get your mesh at for those colors?
This came from Walmart. You can only find the ombre like this at Walmart. They don't sell it anyplace else.
Okay.
Normally, I try to get my mesh from Craft Outlet. Craft Outlet tends to have better quality mesh. Also, I find that if you buy mesh that's got a lot of metallic in it, you can get mesh that has what's called a wide foil, and that does not fray very much either. But again, like I said, once I'm done attaching this, I'm going to spray it, and it's going to stop the fraying. I think this is just because it was 21-inch mesh and I cut it down the middle. I've never really had a lot of luck doing that. I mean, it does not look bad. You can see me pulling some of it away, some frays here and there. It would have been a lot worse if I didn't use the wood burning tool, let's put it that way. There are other types of ombre, like if you go to, I don't know if Craft Outlet has it, but I know that Trendy Tree has it. If you Google, or if you go do a search on their site for ombre, Trendy Tree does have some different types of ombre mesh, with just these particular colors you can only get at Walmart. I've never seen them anyplace else, the orange and the blue. I can't find my other piece. There it is. appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm kind of losing my voice here. You know, I don't know, you guys. I've actually got probably about 3/4 more to do. Do you want to stay on the live video and watch me finish it, or do you want me to maybe finish it off camera and post a picture? Or I could stop the video and you guys can all sign off, and then I'll just start the video again when I'm done, so you could see, you know, when I send you the video tomorrow, you could see how it looks when it's done. I mean, it's up to you. Do you guys want to stay on the live class and watch me finish this, or do you want me just to finish recording it off the live, off Zoom? Do you know what I mean? It's up to you. It's probably going to take me like another 20 minutes to finish this, is what I'm saying. Anybody there? Why don't we do this then, you guys? I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording for a little while. You guys can jump off because it's going to take me a little while to finish this center here. But I'm going to keep, you know, I'm going to record it again when I'm almost done. And then I'll go ahead and then mail you guys, obviously, a copy of the video so you can have it, so you can see the whole thing when it's done. But I don't want to make you guys sit here and wait another 20, 25 minutes for me to finish, for me to finish this. But it's almost done. You can see I'm just doing the center here. And look how pretty and full that is. Just going to take a little bit of my spray adhesive when I'm done and go over it quick. You can use the E6000, or you can use what I have, which is the Craft Bond Elmer's, and just kind of spray it quick. But I'm just going to do that, I think. I'm going to have you guys jump off, and I'm going to finish this. But when you get the recording, when you get the video, you're going to see me finishing it. Is that okay with everybody? Can anybody unmute themselves and let me know if that's okay?
I'm good.
But we're almost done.
Beautiful.
What do you think so far? We just gotta get
Beautiful.
this middle part finished. I just don't want to make you guys have to sit and wait.
I love the orange right around.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. But when you get the video, it's going to be completed. It's going to show the whole thing.
Okay.
All right, guys?
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I will let you know when the video is ready, and then you can all get your copy.
Okay.
All right, guys. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.